The first starting point really was to talk to people, to talk to staff at the museums, to learn about their needs. So I sent out a questionnaire initially a year ago to find out what experience, knowledge, etc. people had of working with disabled people and what they felt they needed to enable them to do that better. The next stage was to actually contact local people with a range of disabilities to invite them to join an inclusive access forum so that we could start the dialogue and the two sets of people could be starting to talk. So really my project in some ways was a conduit for conversation and learning as much as it was changing physical environments.
I was aware that we needed to make cultural changes as well as the physical and other kinds of improvements because I've worked on similar projects before, and unless you get the staff and volunteers involved and unless you raise awareness of the issues and the needs of a wide range of people, it doesn't matter how good the physical changes are and the physical improvements are. I've had examples in the past of audio description tours, for example, being available, being developed. I've developed them in collaboration with an organisation, and then they end up in a cupboard underneath the reception desk and they're never used because people don't know about them. So it's very important that the staff were brought into it straight away and that they felt that they had a part to play.
I always thought I had an awareness, but it's always good to revisit that and to challenge where you're at with that and still acknowledge that you can make improvements, and it's a continuing learning process.
I was really keen to get on board with it. I don't know if I was as prepared as I'd like to think, I suppose. You always think you're being really inclusive and everything, but there's always something that you've forgotten because it's so wide-ranging. It's the first time I've worked with, especially an access forum. So it's been a really useful experience for me, I suppose. And meeting such a wide range of people, and they've all got a real love of heritage and Sheffield in particular and Sheffield's history. So I've really learnt a lot from them.
I found this really stimulating and really positive. I don't feel this isn't at all a tick box event. A lot of times you're called in to consult where you know they've already made the decision on what they're going to do, and we're actually seeing here that we're making comments and they're being followed through. So that's really exciting to me to know that the voice is being listened to.
The Inclusive Access Forum have been vital. I mean, they've been a brilliant group of informed and educated and experienced people, and I don't think we could have done what we've done without them, because they've helped us to test things, they've come up with new ideas that we hadn't thought of, and I'm sure, I've found in other projects, it takes longer when you involve a group like that, but what you get in the end is much better.
When we set out on a project, we thought we would be covering a lot of small fixes around the museum to enable better access, whereas actually what the forum threw up to us was we just can't even get in the door physically because of the cobbles and the size and weight of the doors that we have on the outside. So regardless of actually, before we even access any of the exhibits or the collections, just physically getting in the building.
It's been very enlightening because there are lots of things I haven't thought of because obviously my disability is different from theirs. I mean, I don't know a lot about people, say, with autism and the problems that they have, and that's been very enlightening. It's helped me think things through when I'm talking to other people about access.
Because you've got such a variety of different people, everybody's getting other people to see different areas as well. So whether you've got someone who's hard of hearing or in a wheelchair or blind, or they're all putting their little bits in, and it's making everybody else sort of sit up and think outside their own little box.
Definitely a learning curve for myself. Situations, people putting their perspective across, things I've been able to take away that I'd never thought about or understood before, a definite benefit.
It informs you, but then also that makes some decisions more difficult, because people with visual impairments want more light, and autistic people want less light and no glare. So you, again, we'll put loads of lights in. Actually, no, we don't want to put loads of lights in. So you're having to weigh up advantages and disadvantages on two different groups of people that have different needs.
Some people feel passionate about one thing, some people feel more passionate about another. And I mean, I've learnt a lot as a person just listening to other people with various different needs and outside my own sort of zone, if you like. But I think it's enriched me as a person, but we enrich each other in the group for that reason. So I can listen to somebody who has mobility issues, having no experience of that myself, and be able to understand their point.
Sometimes when you work with a diverse group of people with variety of needs, you know, you'll get the kind of, my need is more important than yours, it's more difficult for me. And again, what Phil brought to us was that sense that, you know, we're trying to make it better. We're not shouting at you for not having done this, but small improvements will make a difference.
When my friend Les with learning difficulties came to a meeting, he actually made a point which was taken up very seriously, and for him that's quite a compliment to be really listened to and taken that seriously.
It's giving people the confidence to know that you can say these things and it means something, and someone will sit and listen. Because so much in the past has been sort of, yeah, all right, we'll look into it, and then nothing happens.
Everybody's quite open about the needs of different users as well, and nobody's got any sort of fears of raising issues now, because we're all quite relaxed with each other, with the forum members and with Phil. So I think it's quite a nice atmosphere now that we can have those discussions.
Just being able to meet with different people, the forum, get to know different people and how they see the museum and how they want to use it has been really interesting and definitely rewarding.
Conversation and communication with and amongst people with and without disabilities has really been the hallmark of this project, and why we've actually learned so much from it, and why we've actually been, you know, sort of successful in meeting the objectives that we set ourselves in the first instance.